if you didn't see Kev's story before, this is Kev, and you're coming up on 10
10 years.
years,
Yes, ma'am.
10 years clean from all substances. And I'm Shanda. I have 9 years clear from all drugs except for alcohol. Alcohol is more recent. The reason I'm telling you that is because I want to be transparent about that. And you know, going through my recovery process, which never ends with all of this. And, a couple years ago, I had the idea of like, instead of working directly for a treatment center, because I worked for a treatment centers for 4 years, talking to thousands of people and helping them into treatment, doing interventions, all of that. I thought a couple years ago, God's given me a skill set to be able to help people who are drinking and using, to cause them to want to stop. And I kept feeling led to do interventions, but I wasn't in the position then, to be able to do it. And then Kev and we used to get high together, and we've recently reconnected, and I brought it up to him because it keeps getting laid on my heart. We know a lot of people that are continually losing their lives, and we have a skill set to be able to do something to hopefully stop that from happening and helping families. So this is what we're going to be doing, is outreach and helping families with interventions. And I know people might have something to say about me, and what I would say is that does not negate my skill set. And it's very clear that God has called me to do this work with people who are addicted, and I've walked through it. We are not your button up, people coming in suits and ties. We're
Right.
real life people that have been through this.
Junkie.
And yeah, I wanted to kind of open the floor for you.
Well, I want to take this opportunity and take this shot with Shanda. We've been talking about it and praying about it, and I've got experience. Well, obviously, I qualify as an addict, as an opiate addict, and a stimulant addict, and an alcoholic. And I'm coming up on 10 years clean. And I've also done peer sober coaching. I've been a peer sober coach. Yep. For a place. I don't think it's appropriate to mention the name of the facility and stuff like that, but I think that Shannon and I can definitely help families and addicts who are sick and suffering to start the journey of recovery. And that's what the objective is here, is to just do what we can to help other people who are just sick and suffering. Again, I said the same thing twice, but that's what it is. We have an extensive format that we go through with the families. We actually have contracts for like the enabler or enablers of the family. Yep. We have a follow-up program after the addict decides to get into treatment, and we use all our resources, both locally and in their area, to get them into detox and treatment. And then we have a follow-up program set up for after they get out of rehab and or detox to maintain, I want to say abstinence, but I prefer sobriety because the disease affects us in mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so if we don't have all three of those things dealt with, then we more than none, the addict ends up back into relapse. Okay. And relapse is part of a recovery. Without hitting our bottoms, then addicts don't know how to crawl out of the hole. When my bottom hit, I died in front of my child and my mother and lost the use of my left side for 4 years. And thank God that was the last time I've had to shoot up or drink. And so, without rambling, we just want to help. And I think that the value of one addict helping another addict is without peril. There's nothing more that connects you with a person that's sick and suffering than being able to say, hey, I know where you're coming from, and really mean it. So
I feel like there are some of us in life that, well, I can only speak for myself, that no matter how far I've tried to get away from this thing of being a support for others, I've not been able to, because I don't think that it's just skills I've developed over the years. I really do believe it was a divine thing and is a divine thing. And I also looked up, like, average intervention costs and all of that, and it blew my mind. $5,000 to $18,000, like, absolutely not. Obviously we can't travel the country for free, and we would be compensated, but no, but nowhere near that.
We're not trying to chop people's arms off for the price, but the main objective is, of course, we need to be compensated, and we want to do that because I have a kid and you have kids, and we want to do this to main objective is to get the person that's addicted clean, get them some help.
Yeah, and we, obviously it should be a given. We can't guarantee that when we intervene, they'll agree to get help. But what we can do is do everything that we can to make sure that happens. And also, I think a lot of it is the seed being planted and the contact with us.
The connection, so even if for the facilities and for the people that are that are actually have long-term sobriety, that are in programs that are local to the addict, so that they can have connections with people that are sober, and places of sobriety where they can go, and all that stuff that we have to offer is stuff that's going to be, and you can't put a price on that type of stuff, really, because it boils down to the addict's life.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to save here. And we want to make some money, but it's not about the money. It's really not. Because if it wasn't, we would say ridiculous things like,
oh yeah, $10,000. No, I really did look that up, and I know a couple people that are unfortunately really, well, that's a different topic, but there's a lot out here that abuses people who don't know where to turn and don't know what to do. And I felt this calling for, it's going on 3 years now, and I just never, I don't know, it wasn't the time.
I've done it too, though, just locally. People have said to me, sorry to interrupt you, but
you're good.
I just wanted to feed into what you're saying, because I can't even count the times, literally, that people locally in my town where I live is Jamestown, New York, and there's, a lot of people know me, okay, and they know the old Kev, crazy Kev, right? And they'll say, man, if you can get sober, then you can, maybe you can help my son, or you can help my daughter, and I've done that hundreds of times. But it's not me, man. It's God, and it's just getting the addict to understand, the families on the same page. You can't.
That's massive.
That's one of the most important steps of this whole thing, is connecting with the families of the person who is addicted, and getting them to understand that this format is imperative, that you follow it to the T, so that the person has a chance to get clean. Now, again, we cannot guarantee, with all the gold stars and all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed, if the addict themselves does not want to get clean, then they're not going to. But we can promise you that we didn't get our experience out of a book. I got mine at the bottom of a bottle and the point of a needle, and in the bars of prison, and under the bridges of San Francisco and San Diego, and all over the country, living homeless due to my addiction. And there's a better life. There is a way to do it one day at a time, and literally end up with, your life back.
Yeah. Well, what I want to say, one of the few things is, at least with me personally, and you guys who know me personally, I've been thinking a lot lately, existentially, of how short my life is, how short life is in general, and I keep waking up with the thought of, like, don't know how long I have left, and I want to make an impact, and I want to do the things I've been called to do, and I just haven't responded to doing them all this whole time. except for when I slip with alcohol, like I could have been doing this very thing because I've been called to do it for years, but instead I chose to just focus on my own selfish desires and needs, and really kind of turned away in so many ways from doing what God had called me to do, which is to help other people. And now I've been thinking more existentially, my head is finally screwed on more straight. And I don't know, none of us know how long we have here. But what I do know is that if I don't spend however long that is that I have alive, making sure that other people have the chance to be alive and doing what I can do for them to be alive, then I have not done enough. And I want to do enough. And
you're good at it. You are good at it. I'm not just saying that to kiss Shanda's butt. I don't kiss nobody's butt. But it's true. Chanda has a lot of connections and a lot of resources, and she has a lot of experience. And I would just say to those people who are concentrating on the fact that out of 9 years of abstinence that Chanda recently had a relapse on alcohol, all those years of sobriety don't go away. She's still sober on all that other stuff. And relapse is a part of this disease, unfortunately. And if people are going to be judgmental about it, I think about like cancer. If somebody's clear of cancer and then they have a relapse, the family don't crap on them for that. This is it's a disease, and it's a very powerful and baffling disease. It's cunning, and it takes lives, and we want to help save lives. And Chanda has the ability to do that. And I didn't really think that I would ever be able to amount to anything like that and be able to do it. But now that God has shown me again and again, and the people that I'm going to meetings with in my town,
he's the real
that
deal.
3 years ago had sat in my living room with me and threw up on the floor, and I detoxed them on the couch and talked to their family and got them into rehabilitation and stuff like that. And that wasn't anything to do with me, the getting them into rehab and stuff like that. But again, the addict makes that choice, and now they're collecting their 3-year coin and 4-year coin. And so I think if this is an opportunity for me to be able to take care of me and my kid and use my experience, strength, and hope to help other people to gain sobriety, then if I don't do it, I feel like I'm kicking God in the gut. And I want to do it. I want to try it out. And, there's nothing that can stop the strength and the power of an addict helping another addict.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
It's true.
Well, what I'm going to do is put in the comments, it's reallifeinterventions@gmail.com. The point of real life, like that word, is again, because not suit and tie, life but experience. We are far probably more likely to relate to your addicted loved one than perhaps somebody who has not been there, who, we're tattooed up. Most of my head's shaved. You can't tell. Yeah. And I think I would have responded much better to somebody like us than I would have something different. And so the point of real life interventions is because this is real life. We're real human beings who have been through this. Many of you that have seen my journey, it's been this. But I get to be alive, and I get to be able to help other people be alive.
That's
God
the thing
willing.
Too.
And
when you're helping other people, it helps you.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
It does.
Hey, is that lady talking to me right there when she says, didn't catch your name? Is that me?
Yep.
She's talking to me?
Yep.
Monica?
Yep.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
My name is Kevin Lamar, Monica. I'm from Jamestown, New York.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is put the email, and what I would ask is, please, if you're not emailing for an intervention and for your loved one, and you're just trying to get a hold of me or Kev, please do not use this email. we understand, I understand a lot that when families reach out, it's because it's in the threshold of that person about to lose their life.
That's what's important.
And it'd be very hard to sift through people who do not need that help versus people who do. So please, like, unless you have a loved one that you want to have an intervention with us,
right.
You know, don't email. And what I was going to say, one of the last things is Andrew Hager. Many of you guys know him. He's one of my best friends, is going to be doing this with us and doing the interventions in the South. He lives in Kentucky. So he's going to come on board with us. He's been in recovery, I think, 11 years now, 10 or 11 years. And, you know, similar story to both of us. And he's incredible. So that way we can be maneuvering through the country, because obviously we're 3 people. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. Is there anything else?
Nope, just that we love you and we're praying for you and we're praying for your addict, and just give us a chance to sit down with you and your family and show you what we can offer you, and hopefully that you know, people will take her request to not just, you know, fill it up with stuff other than if you need an intervention and you really want to get some advice and some direction and some connections on getting your loved one hopefully sober.
Yep. Well, I'm going to put the email in the comments here in a second once I end this, but I love you guys. I'll be mentioning this every now and again because, you know, only a slight portion of my audience is going to see this, so you'll see me mention it several times, and that's what it is. And hopefully if you're going to contact us, we can help your family, because we care about this.
We're very serious about this.
So I love you guys. Bye.